Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one out, the only master propaganda heroes like Defender Fatherland here with my co-host Basil the Kitty Cat, savagely attacking my left hand. Well, the sweater so far. Off here to a 1v1 on Nexus. Ow, Basil, you stupid fuzzball. We got here in the east, Junpei, or at least that's the translation I'm giving there, of his name there. Fighting for Deutschland, the Oberkommando West here with Grand Offensive. Forming up here with the Führer Begleitbrigade here with Grand Offensive featuring Panzerfusilier, smoke bombs, Infrastrukturgewehrs, Panzer Commander, and the Tiger Tank. In the west it is Angreifen, fighting for the British Army, the Commonwealth. King George here with the Guards Armour Division Millennium Assault featuring 81mm mortar teams, assault sections, M10 Achilles, self-propelled anti-tank guns, the M5 half-track, and of course, strafing support. So off to the races are here. We got Panzer Northwards here with more on the way there. Also, big hearty thanks to my patron support as always. Big, wonderful people, all those, that keep the Propagandacast going. Other people can join thanks for Patreon, they can donate on PayPal. And in this regard, big thanks to maybe me for donating and supporting the Propagandacast. Nice, comment, like, share, subscribe, and if you're in the market for pre-ordering currency, you can do so with the link in the comments. Use the code STUK3G as written there. So, anyways, hefty skirmish in north here as both sides are going in pretty aggressively in the section up north routed. In the south, we got the assault section moving forwards here for Angreifen, of course, equipped with the Sten gun. North third points being seized, a barbed wire being laid down as a night cover. Third punch scored here for Junpei and the Führer Begleitbrigade, one of two brigades formed out of, Hitler's security detachments around the Wolfschanze there on the Eastern Front in Eastern Prussia. Basically, part of them were made up of elements of the Großdeutschland Panzergrenadiers division, and those were titled Panzerfusilier, so that way, of course, when they were formed, those elements were then drawn away from, again, the unit then used to form up these two new brigades. Those also got the title of Panzerfusiliers. A bit, convoluted, but go figure. As a fun fact, though, quality of those gentlemen compared to the Großdeutschland were significantly a bit more varied, because there's also been a variety of other units, including the predecessor to the Volkssturm, the Landsturm. For those unawares, the Volkssturm actually had a predecessor known as the Landsturm. It did basically also, say a militia they were made up of older men. So suddenly you had those guys, and most of them were mounted on a bicycle as well there, so really interesting unit there. Anyway, it's Junpei out in the section here, being flanked more sections. We've got Panzer tank from north here from Junpei. It's 3 squads so far here versus 3 sections. And the assault section here, a lot of infantry, a lot of clashing, a lot of death, a lot of shouting. Panzer being charged to the assault section. Sten guns are ripping into the Panzerfusilier, but they're returning fire here on the assault section. There you go, just retreats up close. He knows the engagement is just forfeit anyways. So rather than, going through the entire motions, only theatrics, and just proceeding to lose his men pointlessly, Junpei there makes the very sensible decision just to get the devil out of there. Still, Angreifen here with the British Army so far, heading hard here at the Führer Begleitbrigade. Back here, troops reinforcing. Could, of course, drop some medical supplies for the Junpei here first, but also for these Panzerfusiliers. And they are now on a half valve. I mean, I'd say that would have been a pretty good investment here for Junpei there to get that going. In the centre, we got the Panzerfusilier sections. Up north here, assault section here, the Carpon moving towards the other fighting here as well. Medics on weather for Angreifen and the British Empire. In the south, fresh not quite fresh Panzerfusilier squad. Day-old Panzerfusilier squad. Starting to get a bit mouldy there. Heading northwards to the Panzerfusilier section moving to deploy sandbags and dig in. Tech on the way, they're already done. In fact, for Angreifen the British Army, we got the Sturmpioneer catching the assault section out in the open with their Sturmgewehr 44. Assault section and segment for the Panzer in the Carpon as looks to reconnect the northern fuel, but that looks like it may not last for too long as Angreifen, of course, commits more infantry to denying the Germans that field. Of course, in the south here, Junpei continues to advance. Basil keeps meowing for attention because he's decided now is the time that he needs his attention. Yes, I know, Basil. And that's Basil, a very vocal kitty cat when he's awake. You're not hearing him while I'm, making these videos, it's because he's asleep. Is the other thing cats are typically known for: sleeping. Most cats are. I mean, obviously not all cats are known for being vocal. A lot of them are not quite as vocal as Basil. But, pretty much all cats sleep a lot. So Sturmpioneer flanking up behind here. Mr. Angreifen forcing back the 2 sections. Low on health here. Junpei executes a pretty solid infantry assault maneuver there. Panzer moving forward to their Karnak TK bolt actions. Snipers on the way there for Angreifen to bleed out those bloody Huns. Those damnable Germans. The Bosch. Moving towards here the Carth one and the center victory point. Sweeping in there with bolt action rifles. Assault section charging in. They got, of course, the Thompson upgrade on the way. In fact, though, they actually had to make the Sten gun because the Americans wouldn't sell the British as Thompson for cheap. So the Sten gun was basically developed like as, it's a very cheap, submachine gun they could actually make. As a fun fact, it was actually based off the German MP40. Pumping Cordy with the section out in the open. Sturmpionier got the center. Could consider laying down some mines, but I imagine the way Junpei is moving about, he's planning some G44 the Gewehr 43. We got the Battlegroup headquarters up there, medics out, plus a mechanized command post there. Smoke bombs available. Of course, part of the commander here. Sturmpionier punching getting the section, pushing it back here. Sappers on the way there for Angreifen. Heading northwards there for the field point with the assault rifle, or like Thompson punch as assault section. Then again, the way they have balanced it in game, it's basically just a better Sturmgewehr for some reason. Something that always kind of irks me. So sniping force with a boys anti-tank rifle with a scope on it. Kills Ludwig pretty harshly there. Pops his head right off. My god, his head! He needed that! And most of us do, don't they? But I don't know about Friedrich. Otherwise, not much there. Troops moving out here again here for the Panzerfusilier. Enforcing there. Heading northwards here with a G43 upgraded Panzer Escort, catching the assault section there by the northern victory point. Ripping through them there with well-placed, accurate shots there. Assault section closing in now, getting past right most, and there you go, Junpei very wisely just buggers right off rather than try to find engagement. Angreifen so far, though, exerting quite strong map control here. The sniper certainly not helping Junpei, fight back against the British. We got mine swords being attempted by Angreifen. Heading for the southern field point again. Victory points wise, it could also quickly develop into lead here for Angreifen, Junpei, and the Führer Big Light Brigade. Sniper shot there. Panzer taking a few hits, losses there from that, of course. Further troops moving forwards there. And a 5th Panzer squad. Again, we are seeing, as I mentioned, in several recent episodes of the last couple of weeks, we've seen this move towards 5 squad builds. In this case, it's technically 6 squad, but seeing this many Panzer Fusiliers is still fairly unusual to a degree there. I mean, most players just typically tend not to be that confident in committing to that many Panzer Fusilier until mix in Volksgrenadiers, but Junpei here clearly is a believer in the Panzer Fusilier, and again is committing to a total of 5 of them. Meanwhile, though, Angreifen summons in the M5 half-track, quickly upgrading to the Quart mount there. To mow down the Germans. Thankfully, Relic never got around to implementing the self-propelled Bofors, which the British actually did by roughly 1944-45. They actually basically had a truck with a Bofors mounted on it. Yeah. Anyways, halfway into the Panzers there, pushing them back here. Raketenwerfer almost done for Junpei there in the south section against the Panzer there. The fun fact, it would not have been the first self-propelled Bofors at all. There's in fact a anti-aircraft tank mounting the Bofors, but that one was actually pretty much only used by the Axis forces. Specifically the Hungarians, and I believe the Romanians and maybe the Finns as well, they used the self-propelled Bofors, the anti-aircraft tank. Under Hungarian, what was known as the Nimrod. I think the Swedish called it the Landsverks 2, maybe 3? Can't remember. There's a bit of a neat thing there. Anyways, half direction northwards here against Junpei's northern positions. Ripping through the Panzerfusilier pretty swiftly. North here, more troops arriving here for Junpei as Angreifen sweeps in for the British Empire here. Needs to cover, of course, the flank of the Ken. Of course, at this point, it's already been given away there to Angreifen, so he's probably going to hold the half-track it back until he's pushed either the Ken back or the thing's screening it, so he can just rush it down. South here, we got Panzer Sturmpionier wiping one Angreifen section. That's a great killer for Junpei. Obviously, doesn't fix all of his issues, doesn't fix that Angreifen is getting an enormous amount of fuel here per minute compared to Junpei, which, in particular on a map like Nexus, in particular against the British, who are easily the faction most capable of just taking up fast to get out a medium armor tank first. It's definitely dangerous for Junpei, so while he did score a win there, he needs a lot more. At this rate, he could be forced to like consider Panzerschrecks on his Panzerversuche, which most players tend to be not keen on. There we go, we do get Angreifen, the company command post on the way there, and he's very close to being able to rush out the Centaur or Cromwell here versus Junpei and the Führer Big Light Brigade, which is always going to be a bit tough there for the Germans. In the south, they have to rushing in there. 2 kills, closing in on veteran 21 there. Kednev moving in, Panzerversuche moving about to, I think, try and swing around here. In this case, they're going to catch the sniper out in the open, and Angreifen paying attention. That could cost him the sniper there, but looks like fortune smiles upon the sniper as usual, because snipers in game have higher received accuracy bonuses on retreat than other units, meaning they do become harder to wipe further. Why they decided on that, I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, ripping through the retreating section, got the half-wing up to block here the German advance with its 4/5 cals there. Ripping through the Panzerversuche. Legends 1 gained. Truck out there, of course, will be schwerer panzered quarters. Raketten will land a good hit on the half track, but still, Junpei will soon be on the receiving end of some serious British armour, and that will, of course, be a significant headache here for Junpei and the German army to have to deal with, on top of the already current headaches. Grand Northern field points are much secured as well here, though Junpei, of course, looking to at least swing the game as much in his favour as he can here versus the British. And there you go, Angreifen rushing out the Centaur anti-aircraft tank, which will of course be a headache and a half here for Junpei. And while the Americans were quite fond of just slapping their 50 cals on like everything they could for anti-aircraft purposes, for the British it was more like this Centaur turret there that was actually quite popular on like, you know, a variety of things. I believe it even mounted on some armoured cars. At least something similar to it. There's a fun fact there. Anyways, half-tech setting out here. Hawk mount almost done. The south here pushing forward as well there for the British Empire. And we got the schwerer punted quarters up there for Junpei. Centaur almost done. Got the Panzer catch in the section there by the car point. Delivering a volley of accurate fire, but the assault section of course quickly closes in. Could pop a white phosphorus grenade here, but apparently decides that isn't necessary and just mows down the Germans in cold blood. Up north here, Panzer being pursued by the half-track. Southern points also been claimed back here by Angreifen and the Commonwealth. Almost got the Panzer escort here. That's going to be a blow there to Junpei and Deutschland. And certainly one he can ill afford, but no, somehow narrowly gets away. And flank in place from there, routes the assault section. The south here, fighting going on here. 2 sections, the Panzerversuche, and Junpei has to accept that this battle is not going in his favour. And rather than waste manpower and, you know, precious experience, he just retreats. Sniper in the centre here, busy for the British Empire. Schwerer punted quarters up. Need to authorize that fast. I don't expect him to go for Obersoldaten. I think, you know, with 6 infantry squads total, he's got plenty. I mean, if he suffers like enough losses, he could consider some Obersoldaten to replace those losses, but for now, I don't think there's a priority. That said, again, part of me suspects he might have liked to have some Panzerschrecks up here, because one like Kednev may not quite be enough against, you know, both an anti-aircraft half-track and a Centaur here. Possibly backed up by sniper set. Junpei goes for another Raketten Mehrfach. I mean, that's obviously also an option here. It's also a choice. But now, though, he's being assailed here by Angreifen and the Guards Armored Division. Sniper then landing kills half to from the other side. And there you go. Junpei's Raketten Mehrfach is caught in an absolutely awful position. And Junpei pretty much commits to the only decision he can make here, which is retreat, rather than, you know, risk the Raketten being handed over to Angreifen, which would be, I think, pretty much possibly GG. So, Angreifen just continues to like exert great map control. Again, just building on the advantage he gained there from the early successes to rush out, just like the Centaur, and then deploying as much self-propelled anti-infantry here versus Junpei, and just further making things more miserable for him. This is all just, you know, very solid stuff here by Angreifen so far. Certainly highlighting why Centaur rushes are popular with the Brits, because they can be executed fairly well and efficiently, in particular by a player who knows how to play the Brits. You can get them out extra fast. Typically you see this with tactical support and raid sections, as they particularly lend themselves well to it, but again, as Angreifen displayed, he can do the same with Lend-Lease Assault. South here, the ground of the point here. Junpei, though, really needs some fuel on top of getting this authorized, but He's definitely struggling a bit with the manpower for that. He is going for the Panzer at least in the Sturmpionier. And we got Anvil Taxis here for Angreifen. An interesting choice there, not Comets. But possibly Churchill tanks here for Angreifen. That is an interesting decision. And there goes Sniper. Did get killed here by Junpei. It's definitely a win here versus Angreifen. Removes a unit that always just keeps bleeding him out there. Plus, of course, acts as reconnaissance. And possibly as a source of artillery call-ins. I mean, the Sniper really just did a lot, if possibly, for Angreifen. Section quadded the Panzergrenadier there. Junpei strikes hard for Deutschland. Ripping here for Angreifen sections as though they're made out of something easily rippable. Politicians' promises, I guess. Anyways, they came up in the centre, almost got it, but no, gets away there with a sliver of health. Centaur, though, ripping through the Panzergrenadier in the south here. Half-track being pushed back steadily by the Panzerträger here, basically using the Panzergrenadier to draw the fire here, so as long as Angreifen is paying attention, you know, they just eat the bullets for the Sturmpionier. In the north, though, the assault here to pursue the Centaur has been called off as Angreifen attacks from both sides here, routing the entire unit. Perhaps a misclick, though. Who knows? Schwerer punted call is still not authorized here for Junpei. Bit of a surprise there. He got more sappers there briefly considered by Angreifen, but decides against it. Guess he feels like his now heavy sappers there are sufficient for the task. Assault section meanwhile pursuing some Panzergrenadier in retreat. Southern fuel point is secured. Finally some authorization here for Junpei and Deutschland. Yeah, I mean, overall the situation with Junpei remains, you know, pretty rough, to put it gently. I mean, he does have a lot of infantry, which definitely, I think, provides him with a solid basis for, like, you know, staging a comeback, as long as, like, you know, he doesn't commit his infantry to really bad engagements where he just bleeds himself out. Obviously, at that point, you know, he's going to get himself killed. But if he plays it smartly, they can definitely help him. There you go. Nice use of smoke here. Allows the assault to close in and the Panzergrenadier charges in there. So that's a pretty devious maneuver there. Pretty devious. And if not, I mean, again, like, you know, they're not moving ahead anytime soon anyways. South here moving up forces there to grab the southern points back here from Junpei and the German army. Smaller forces being dispatched northwards, but clearly Junpei is looking to make the big push into the south here. Pretty direct with a half-track. Note the way he's ordering it to hold fire here so he does not give away its position to Junpei's anti-tank guns, even by mistake. Thumbs up there. That is a... While I see some players suddenly to hold fire, they're pulling back a unit. They don't want the, you know, the vehicle typically in question to shoot and give away its position to the enemy anti-tank gunners. So, bit of advice there. Up north here, point being grabbed there by Junpei, using his larger numbers to launch a overall broader attack. Again, risky with the light vehicles and the potential that Angreifen might, you know, launch a focused counterattack in one place. But so far, he's kind of working out there for Junpei. We got a second assault section out of Angreifen, cause now matching his opponent's infantry almost fully there. So Junpei will certainly find a bit of a rougher time, but now he is going for the Panzer IV, bringing out some armor of his own. Of course, Angreifen may soon be countering that with a Churchill infantry tank. In the south here, points being seized, section moving forwards there for Angreifen. North here, point being seized. Panzerkampfwagen 4 Ausführung J, halfway done. Center there being fixed up. Forcing, okay, I'm saying northwards. Once, of course, Junpei gets that Panzer IV out, there, things I think gonna be, at least for a brief while, much more smoother going. Though, of course, the Churchill tank will prove to be a bit of a headache. I said performs quite well versus Panzer IVs. There you go, though. For now, at least, Panzer IV out there for Junpei and the Führer Big Light Brigade. In the south, we've got the two Panzer Squad attached in the section. They're pushing them back quite easily. Got the assault section there pushed back here by the Panzer IV. In the south, the center strikes. And the half-takes also into further block here. Using the mobility to just quickly shut down the attempt here by Junpei's infantry south to just quickly outmaneuver Angreifen there. Thumbs up, of course. Now the Panzer IV's arrived, and of course, in this regard, Angreifen does have a bit of a gap. He has, that is, he has no anti-tank weapons. Like, again, he's got any like, tanks, so he's got no way of stopping that Panzer IV. So there's again this window opportunity here for Junpei, We might just be able to like really do some heavy damage to Angreifen. Make it harder for Angreifen to just swing back with the Churchill tank. But can Junpei really like exploit this? Is the big question. He's advancing the way he can, breaking sandbags, barbed wire, stuff like that, trenches I guess maybe. Engaging in the platoon command post. You can see that the Angreifen's holding his little vehicles all the other end there where the Panzer IV can easily reach them. Smart move there of course. But even then, Junpei is just quickly moving in and grabbing as much as he can there. Concussive grenade here would be nice. Just bring in more troops I guess here, but concussive grenade I think would help a lot less of the assault section. Counterflying northwards, and there you go. Churchill tank out there, the Mark 7. Equipped with a 75mm gun. Center the punch with the ground, center victory point, southern points almost east as well, so decent comeback here for Junpei, though of course may be short-lived as the Churchill tank is about to be flung at him. Adding a tank commander to that one. South you got the sections there, there's the advancing Panzer, of course now the Panzerkampfwagen 4 as für Jod. Section there taking a fair amount of damage here, though the Panzer is definitely not getting out of this unscathed. And there you got a Churchill tank around on the flank. Probably a surprise for Junpei because, well, truth be told, most British players, of course, on 1-1 won't go for the Churchill tank, they'll go for the Comet. Half-track rushing in there, but could be taken out here. Raketenwerfer flying away there. But there you go. Oh, you actually might be able to get one here with the Centaur joining in on the Raketenwerfer there. There we go. Wiped. Good kill here for Angreifen, though, at the expense of a half-track. It's probably still good, though, as long as it grabs it. Comes with the Churchill tank, both down to half health, but even half health, the Churchill tank has a lot more health than the Panzer IV. Down its engine, the Churchill tank there. 6-pounder gun there for Angreifen. Does also now have the strafing support available. In fact, he's got like a lot of munitions floating about there. A bit surprised there, because it's actually calling a artillery strike here on the Raketenwerfer to deny it to Angreifen specifically. Sharp play there. Now we've got the Panzer IV again. Hold fire. Ducking out of there. Again, not to go position him to the enemy aircraft. So, thumbs up there to Junpei. He still, of course, gets a few hits in there from the aircraft. But, you know, for the most part, again. Oh, that was less great. The Raketenwerfer number 2 got wiped out by a quick strafe there from Angreifen's RAF support. We got 205 as a 416. Panzer IV they're being fixed up here for Junpei. Further up north, their points being seized. Southwards, we've got the assault section moving forwards there for Angreifen. Panzerkampf being repaired. Panzer northwards. Got a 6-pounder gun out here, of course, as Angreifen starting to get a bit more wary here of Junpei and his armor. It's Panzerwaffe. Troops out there, punching northwards. Catching the section up at the car point. Bit of uncertainty there from the Panzer IV. Looks like it's going to be a northern bound path here versus Angreifen. Who still otherwise, I think, for the most part, is enjoying several advantages, but again, they might be slowly eroding, but still he's got the map control at least, and that's still a crucial element, of course, in particular in terms of victory points. Force-wise, it's certainly not quite as a bigger gap there anymore. Center they are being handled by Raketenwerfer as Panzer keep pushing ahead here. Panzer IV forced to disengage. Up north here, Raketenwerfer pursuing here. Using the infantry again to just basically act as a screen here. Drawing their attention and just spotting for the Raketenwerfers. You could of course just fire off a flare here. I think most Oberkorps players, when they use the Panzer, don't remember. Oh, he actually does fire the flare there. 2 thumbs up. Very nice, but that's it. There's a bit of a problem here. So the assault section rips through the southern flank guard here of the Raketenwerfer team. So even though he's trying to push ahead here, he may lose them out to the assault section. Got the second squad moving in as well here. Second section. Okay, there we go. Wiped out. Quite a blow there to Junpei and the German Reich 6-pounder gun firing back at the Panzer IV. Junpei, they keep supporting here. Pretty violent infantry altercation here. And a unit wiped out. The Panzer escort there was the Raketenwerfer that got wiped out. Reported wiped out. I think he crewed that one with Panzers. That's why I got a notification of a unit wiped out then. Happens. This can cause some confusion. Crewing here, the Raketenwerfer now with the section. There you go. Quickly wiped. Centaur there with 20 kills basically. They've really been doing great work here for Angreifen. unsurprisingly. Garda section right here then, Angreifen again. Definitely take some losses here, and there you go, I can recruit again, but there you go, Center. Note what he's doing is using strafing fire, which, as you can see there, is actually like a really powerful ability when used correctly, and just allow him to instantly wipe the Kevin's got crewed there. And, oh dear, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but he accidentally sacrificed an entire Panzer squad to crew that McKenna. I think it might have been intentional, but I feel like that was definitely suboptimal here for Junpei. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I mean, if he can immediately score 10 kill with that one, that might make it work out. But if he doesn't, that's just like, again, a Panzer squad and one that was upgraded, suddenly just reduced to like Academy of a crew. At least he got it back, I suppose. Panzer being fixed up here. Back in Angreifen's base, we could see another Churchill tank soon, or maybe some Fireflies or something else. We'll have to see. Centaur was fixed up, 27 kills. Junpei here, we'll have to see if it goes for. Maybe it's a Tiger tank, maybe it's a Panther, maybe it's a Jagdpanzer, another Panzer IV. Panther IV in the center almost got to go for Junpei and the Führer Big Light Brigade, which would later alongside its other division there, of brigade initially upgraded to Panzer divisions, then finally to get Panzer Corps, or Panzer Corps, but at that point that really didn't mean as much as used to. Still, worth noting out there. Reinforcing here in the south here, we got the Panzer going for the southern point. Panther IV dives ahead for Deutschland straight into the center, and there you go. Artillery striking on the 6-pounder gun. Wipes it. We'll likely try and destroy it here. But there you go. Angreifen's assault section's on the job here. Air support calling in, but Angreifen's actually close to here, interestingly. He really wants that 6-pounder gun dead, and I don't blame him for it. But I think the air support plus the Churchill tank here, on top of course the 6-pounder gun, will force Junpei to pull back the Panzer IV unless he really wants it destroyed, which would be pretty bad for Junpei and the Germans, but amazing for Angreifen. Thankfully for Junpei, at least, he makes the wise decision of just pulling the Panzer IV out of there before it gets turned into target practice, RAF pilots. North here, right though, the center there keeps murdering away there. Plenty of fuel, but the manpower bleeding is a bit tougher on Angreifen for now. Tougher. And I think Junpei has lost another Panzer squad. At this point, it would appear like Junpei is going to go for a Tiger tank here. Tiger. I suppose he could surprise us with a Panther. We got 167 to 375. He's actually been able to slowly close the gap between him and Angreifen in terms of victory points, though Angreifen still enjoys the lead there. Heavy sappers there going for the northern victory point, but are quickly dispatched by the Panzer before they're then quickly strafed by a RAF pilot. Center there is Lekednev, and he quickly retreats before getting to see the strafing fire. They almost wipes out his unit. The Junpei is definitely a quick learner when it comes to that one there. Up north of the entire German front, there is quickly routed once Lekednev is sent packing. The infantry also quickly packs up and heads back to base. But Junpei is moments away from the Tiger tank, and will Angreifen then be able to deal with the Tiger tank with just basically a 6-pounder gun and a Churchill tank? That's obviously the bigger question. I do believe one of the first Tiger kills, and that was in Tunisia, was actually secured by a Churchill tank. But anyways, Tiger tank out here though for Junpei and Deutschland. Sent in from the nearby 502nd Schwerer Panzerabteilung. Adding the pin-mounted MG42 there on top. Panzer positioning through the south. Panther IV being repaired. Coming up with that Panzerkampfwagen 4. Sappers there quickly disengaging. Good timing there, otherwise they could have been murdered. There's the Tiger tank shot at the Churchill tank. Better to gain the Churchill tank. Tiger tank they're disengaging, not willing to risk all the heat grenades there in the south. Panzer tank in, but there goes Centaur on the spot once more. 30 kills in the east, which just quickly sends Junpei's Panzer back home to base. Tiger tank could of course benefit from a few repairs here. He might also benefit from another Sturm Pioneer squad to expedite these repairs, honestly. Quick shot there in the Churchill tank. Centaur of course just murdering Germans as usual. Just another day at the office. And from Model J, they're closing in eventually 3. They're more than halfway, if anything. I'm guessing at this point, though, with the arrival of the Tiger tank, Angreifen could be time to go for the Firefly, though, of course. He could still, like, go for another Churchill tank if he wanted to. But there you go, Centaur final knockdown. This is a really big win for Junpei, because as you saw there, that is really good versus Junpei's infantry and support weapons, and really gave Junpei a hell of a headache. So getting rid of that Centaur tank is going to be a significant burden removed here for Junpei's shoulders. We also now got the Firefly on the way of Angreifen and the British Army. Fixing up the Tiger tank, northern points east of the Panzerverlierer. Churchill there being hauled back for repairs. Panther base in the south here, close to veterinary fleet. Firefly, one third of the way to go. They're standing around on the battlefield here. Tiger tank almost fixed up for Junpei and Deutschland. Heading for the southern victory point. Grab northern fuel point. Tiger tank setting out there. 2 kills, but close to veteran to 1. Firefly has arrived here for Angreifen. And of course, they could easily upgrade with the tank commander Tulip rockets. In fact, does proceed to do so. Junpei having pretty good map control now versus Angreifen. Though Angreifen still has a fairly large force and certainly should be taken lightly. Junpei replacing losses with more Panzerverlierer, which is a bit interesting. Not necessarily a bad choice, obviously. I think most players at this stage would have gone for the Obersoldaten, but obviously still seeing the Panzerverlierer has its advantages. I mean, they are 5 or 6 man squads, which is obviously pretty good still in many respects. Even they lack the same, shall we say, level of burst damage as the Obersoldaten. I mean, in pinch, you could also still equip them with Panzerschrecks if you wanted to, though I don't think you would do at this stage, but it is theoretically a possibility here. Looks like Angreifen, he has to figure out we want to strike next to actually southwards, which, well, seems to be attacking right into Junpei's positions here. Don't think this is necessarily the smartest move by Angreifen once you realise it, but oh well. Tiger tank moving in first though, right to the 6-pounder gun here. Firefly nearby. Also, of course, got air support ready here. There we go, good shot on the Panther 4 Model J. Could, of course, unleash some Tulip rockets as well. Church tank moving forwards here. I think this is probably a good time here for some air support here for Angreifen. There we go, unleashing the RAF once more. Firefly there at it. Good shot on the Tiger tank. Little health left. 6-pounder gun there cleared out. Rockets still screaming for the skies. Almost got the Tiger tank there. I think had the Firefly been a bit more aggressive and maybe used the Tulip rockets, they probably could have gotten rid of the Tiger tank or the Panther 4, but I think Angreifen holding back here allowed Junpei to hold back both Tiger tank and Panther 4 there. They did still suffer some losses. Aircraft knocked out of the sky. Churchill tank advancing here. 7 kills near ace level. Quickly hauling back armor there for repairs, and putting up the Tiger tank causes a big priority here for Junpei to get fixed up. Again, could go for another Sturmpioneer squad to assist with that. And equipping the fresh Panzerverlierer squad with G43s as well. And Angreifen committing to another Churchill tank. That's going to be a lot of hit points on those tanks, so they can absorb quite a punishment here from the Germans. I definitely think Junpei really would benefit from additional Sturmpioneer to assist the repairs, in particular on the Tiger tank. Moving on the centre. Grab the carve point. Churchill tank almost fixed up. Section to the Panzerverlierer. Advancing on the centre. Second Churchill tank almost done here. We got the heavy saps upgrade as well for Angreifen. The guards armoured. Got the assault tank taking a bit of a mauling here from the Germans. Like kept up the Churchill tank there. It's soaking up the hits for now, but it can only soak up so many hits before it gets completely knocked out. And there you go. Suffered some pretty intense damage. These little gains can actually fix the engine damage on his own now, which is obviously actually a pretty good handy ability to have. Second Churchill tank out here though for Angreifen. Chemists keep pushing ahead here. Almost got them, and he's going to possibly just charge the chem weapons now. I need to get that one out there. In fact, might be too late if they got smoke when they've been deployed. Narrowly saving the Churchill tank ace there. Close call here. Was that when a posthumous victorious cross? And of course, still could be one. And we got here, after the loss of the Panther 4, Junpei goes for a Panther. A Panzerkampfwagen 5. Southern victory point claimed with the British Empire. Grams on the field point. Those need to rapidly fix up the Churchill tank there as the other one advances forwards. Assault sections following in the wake in the south. The TIE tank strikes for Deutschland, engaging with its 8-hit gun there, ripping through the heavy sappers there. No survivors. Churchill tank that goes on the hunt for the Tiger tank here. Great shot from the Tiger tank right through the Churchill tank front line. And there go Firefly on the spot. We'll get the tube rockets here. There we go. First one got through, but the second one missed. Close call there, though, for Junpei and his Tiger tank. His Panther, though, has almost arrived. Up north here, we got the Northern Victory falling here to the British Empire as well. Southern one being claimed back here by Junpei and his Sturmpioniere. Punch rushing forward here, going for the 6-pounder gun here. Firefly won't be able to do much here. And now we got Angreifen's, or Junpei's Panzerkampfwagen. We've got the Churchill tank there being rushed in. Apparently not being repaired. Guess something went wrong there. But he definitely needs to like get this Churchill Ace fixed up, because otherwise it's going to take one shot and that thing's going to be a flame. I get oversized barbecue. Tiger tank give us the Churchill tank. Firefly being sent into the front as well here. Panther attack northwards here through Deutschland, adding the Panzerkommandant to the Panther. We got the Churchill Ace being repaired by the sappers. Quite work intensive that. Okay, we're keeping at it here. Ultimate nature right now for Angreifen is just lack of infantry support, his armor. Whereas Junpei, like, you know, basically has 5 squads here. Angreifen's are just basically 2 squads of infantry and the heavy sappers who can sort of act as infantry, but they're probably not the greatest for it. Churchill is almost knocked out here. North Heat group surrounded by the Panthers. We've got the Panther rushing in here. Churchill Ace survives, but really can't assist much in the fight. Now we got the Panther moving in here with the Tiger tank also to join in. This could get very uncomfortable here for Angreifen rapidly. Panther taking some hits from the Firefly and the Churchill there. Go tube rockets being launched at the Panther. Again, hit and a miss here. Very fortunate there for Junpei. Very unfortunate for Angreifen. The Firefly could of course still finish it off here, but no, the Panther narrowly escapes here the Sherman Firefly. Or the Sherman VC/IC, which I believe the British one called it. I don't actually believe they called it the Firefly. Might have been a later thing. Anyways, fixing up the Churchill tank here. Again, and now there's 2 Churchills to repair, which is, well, quite a workload for the sappers. Vickers on the way there for Angreifen. Bit late to the party on that one. Junpei fixing up his Panther. We got 162 versus 147. Tiger tank there close to 82. Panzer rushing forwards here. Firefly goes at it again. Shoots but misses with its 17-pounder gun. Almost got the Churchill Ace fixed up. Almost. Meanwhile, Junpei's almost got his Panther good to go as well here. There you go, Vickers machine gun team ready for the British Empire, the Commonwealth. Straight here for the Germans. Tiger tank moving, then getting the 6-pounder gun crew here. Firefly there hanging back, could unleash another Tudor rocket strike here. Damage into the Churchill Ace, though, of course, on the Ace it doesn't matter, thanks to the engine critical self-repairability. Where they just wave a picture of the king at the engine and it just magically mends itself. By the power of King George, I compel you to work again, engine. Enemy threatening a capture point. North here section pushing forwards here. Right ahead. Damaged engine again, and of course, back to waving a picture of the king at the engine. Panther diving in, we got less than 100 points left here for Angreifen as the Panther will Academy for support. Ooh, grenade here from the Churchill tank. Almost got the Academy for Ace there, but goes down to the Panther. We got the Tiger tank here, 82, 15 kills. Tulip rockets there flying at it. There you go. Tiger tank stunned, almost half health for the Panther. Goes to the Firefly here. Veterans 1 and the Panther. Firefly halfway to the ace level. Church tank moving forwards here. Almost got the 2 rocket here. 6-pounder gun crew down, and the Firefly goes out of control here. Panther takes another hit from the 17-pounder gun. Churchill tank lands a hit, but still, Angreifen is now, at least in terms of tanks, significantly outgunned compared to Junpei, who's got 2 tanks versus his 1, even if his tank can definitely take a beating. $161.78 here, Panther and Tiger there slamming away at the Churchill tank, which keeps at it for the British Empire. South troops bring forwards there for Junpei. Panther there being fixed up close to Veteran C2 and some Schutzen.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Cromwell tank here for Angreifen and the British Empire. Realizing at this point he just needs tanks.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Biggs getting a bit of service of the Panzerverteidiger. And we got the Panther there being slammed into the ground into the Cromwell, taking heavy... Oh, Churchill tank. Nonsense there with the Cromwell. The Cromwell's yet to arrive. Junpei definitely remains in control of the field again. Part of it is just, I think, just, you know, maintaining a steady complement of infantry, whereas again, Angreifen just kind of slacked off after a certain point here, which is steadily, but I think slowly benefited Junpei a fair bit here versus Angreifen. Still, also the assault section, particularly, of course, those were the units he really lost there, I think has also further impacted Angreifen's ability to get back on the field because he just lacks assault troops. And it's not like he's upgraded his regular sections to at least fight better with, say, weapon racks or grenades, so...
We're losing a capture point.
Definitely a bit of an issue there for Angreifen as the match goes on. Meanwhile, Panther's good to go. Titan calls need repairs. Catching the section here, so they tried it from northern points, but they will, of course, find the Panther blocking the way. Meanwhile, Cromwell rush southward, smoke called in here by Junpei. Great against machine gun for a brief while, but doesn't really help against the Cromwell tank. Tiger tank almost good to go. So is the Panther 4. Panther southwards, Panther 4's heading out. Tiger tank also good to go, so I mean he's got 3 tanks versus Angreifen's 2. Plus he's got a lot more infantry, so I think at this point Junpei is holding most of the cards here against Angreifen. Is definitely finding himself running short of options, and tactically he's not really, I think, either doing much to mitigate the issues he's facing strategically. Panther's the section in the centre. Panther in pursuit by the Cromwell and the Churchill tank. Got to keep backing off here. Good shot from the Panther there. Cromwell down to half health. Churchill taking a few hits from it in return. Up north, Tiger tank quickly dispatches the section there, opening up for a capture there by Junpei. We got the Panther and the artillery giving Angreifen the south bit of a headache. We got a 6-pounder gun on the way there. Southern point, there we got the Panzer pinned down to the ground by the Vickers. Panther there, dueling out there with the British army there. Good Panther full strength from north by the centre into the 6-pounder gun there, clearing it out there, wrecking the gun, and now Angreifen is further in some pretty deep trouble here as Junpei prepares for the finishing blow here with the Tiger tank as tagging from north here, catching here Angreifen's tanks, an attack from pretty much 3 sides, having only one direction to go in, and that's backwards. That is the retrograde advance. And with that, all of Angreifen's armor is now aflame. He's just got infantry left here, and even the infantry getting the support weapons just is numerically inferior here to what Junpei's got. Never mind the tanks. So at this point, I think it's safe to say GG, and I think he's pretty much admitted his role there, and we're just waiting for the game to realize that Angreifen has, you know, gone off for tea and biscuits. So, just a few more moments here as we wait for the game to react. And there you go, GG game over. A blow there to Angreifen, victory for Junpei, a fierce back and forth fight here. Certainly highlighting the importance of infantry. And it's nice to see the Churchill tank, but I think the way Angreifen employed them, unfortunately, kind of undercut him when he kind of ran out of infantry. Plus, I think he didn't use his munitions too efficiently. Could have had upgrades out sooner. You know, for example, I think that was a bit on the other side of mines, for example. So, either way, though, hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial saying cheers, and thank you for watching. See you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye.